Hey, is the mic on? Can you hear me out there? Let me know if you want me to go for it. This is Brody. It's Tuesday morning. Uh, I can see somebody's watching. If you want me to start the stocks, or we want me to wait for anybody else to get in here, maybe let me know. Somebody's in the comment section. Michael Superbacker. Hey, all right, we can start the show. Michael Superbacker, good morning. Just happened to be looking at my phone. I can hear you now. Well, thanks for joining us, Michael Superbacker. Homer's Odyssey in real life. If you check it out, I did check out some more of your videos, buddy, and I see you found my hat. So, thank you for checking out the stream this morning. It's Tuesday, November 8th. This is Morning Magic Stocks with Brody. How y'all doing today? So let's get right into the stream today, folks. Yesterday we saw some action at the top of the stock charts with the Guardian Beast, which was a super card that I was really super stoked to see that it was on sale. It might trend down a little bit more, in my opinion. It was coming in over $1,600 just a couple of weeks ago. And like the Guardian Beast is a beast of a card. And so was this card was coming in on the list. The Island of Whack Whack, another card from the Arabian Nights. I think I called it like the fourth best land in Arabian Nights. It might even be the fifth best land in Arabian Nights because you got the Library of Alexandria to contend with. So this one's seen another bump up in price of 4 points. Okay, the Island of Wacky Wax up 4 points today. Let's have a look at this chart. See if I can do something a little bit differently. I was comparing the stream. I really want you folks to see this part of the charts here. So when I bring it up, if unless you're just listening on your phone, that's totally cool too. But like this part here where we can stretch it back. See, this is around the time Bazaar of Baghdad got bought out. This card bumped up to around the spiked to $6,000 mark, $5,000 mark. Oh, on speculation, I would say. That's totally some speculation on this card, but it seems like it's flattened out at around the $600 mark now, and it hasn't really moved a whole lot any which way but sideways. So if you missed out on Bazaar of Baghdad, I guess you could pick up a copy of the Island of Wacky Whack. I do think that the flavored text on this card is absolutely hilarious. The Island of Whack Whack, home to a tribe of winged folk, is named for its particular fruit that grows there. The fruit looks like a woman's head, and when ripe, it speaks the word whack. I'll let yo folks think about that. Kind of a odd piece of cipher text on that card as far as magic cards go. All right, let's see here. Again today with the Guardian Beast. Second from the top, a 2% uptick in price. It's up $18. Yesterday it was at the top of the list as well. Let's just like take a look back. And I mean, Dual Brain made a comment. He said, "Yeah, this card is super underrated." Now, I looked at the vendor stores yesterday, and it looks like it's sold out on most of the major platforms. I wouldn't, I wouldn't put it past it to see this card maybe. Would it? Is it gonna go lower? It seems like it's on sale right about now. Now, the cheapest I could find it on eBay was like, I think it was like 9.99 Canadian, right under that $1,000 mark. And then there was a couple other ones on eBay that were selling a little bit more than that. So if you can find it for anywhere around 7.99 and you want to buy it, I don't know if you're gonna find a better deal. It's played in Una deck, so this is a pretty good card. The Guardian Beast. It's definitely seen some price action. Popular card. Okay, so let's take a look. Land Equilibrium, another card we saw on the list just the other day. So some of these three cards have just moved around a little bit on the top of the stock movers and shakers list. And Land Equilibrium is one of them. But if you didn't get to join us yesterday, we talked about Land Equilibrium and this card, how it's a land destruction card for blue. It also works with a card like Mana Vortex. Now, what does this card do? It says if your opponent controls at least as much land as you do, he or she must sacrifice a land for each land he or she puts into play. So it's an enchantment card. The interesting thing about this card is that it doesn't say when there's no lands in play, bury land equilibrium. I'll bring up another card just to show you folks here. If you've ever heard of playing a land destruction in blue, this couple of cards will let you do it. Mana Vortex. It's 37 bucks, but it says when there's no lands in play, sacrifice Mana Vortex. This is also an enchantment, and when you cast it, the caster's controller must sacrifice a land. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a land. So land destruction in blue is a thing. Land Equilibrium and Mana Vortex are the two cards that get you there. One's from the dark, and this one's from Legends. It's 4 mana though, and it's been kind of trending down in price. It's on the reserve list too, so it's really made its way onto the hot movers and shakers list this morning. Land Equilibrium. Here's a great card. Sorceress Queen. Oh man, do I love some Sorceress Queen. Making creatures 0/2s until end of turn. A card from Arabian Nights. This rare has seen a 12% point increase. Up 16 bucks, the Sorceress Queen is an uncommon from the Arabian Nights set. Now it's seen like a flat line at about 150 bucks. Brody is interested in this card. Like it was, I think we're like in under here somewhere around 40 bucks. But this is a card for some reason. It's probably because the art is so amazing from Kaya Folio. The sword, and it's got these little henchmen with the beady little eyes. Kaya Folio has illustrated the Sorceress Queen here. So there are people who like this card. Now, why is this version like? Let's compare it to other versions. Like there's a fifth edition, there's a fourth edition, and there's a revised edition. But if you would pay to note, this is the only version of the uncommon in black border. If you want it in black border, you can't get it anywhere else but in the Arabian Nights set. What? Yes, that's right. So that's why this card is really super popular. It's $150 in Arabian Nights, and people tend to collect it. Fourth and fifth edition and revised edition is a dollar and $4. So if this is a super collectible card, the Sorceress Queen, and I actually like seeing it on the movers and shakers list, especially on a Tuesday morning. Hope everybody's having a great morning. It's Tuesday. It's November 8th. This is Brody with your morning MTG stocks. I got to check the movers and shakers list. We're running down the list. Here's a ring of a rough. The rough ring of a rough. I like this card. 5 mana artifact. Okay, so it's right in the middle of the list. It's 5 mana. It's up $14. It's 11% overall. It's a cool card that's on the reserve list. It's also from the Arabian Nights set. I just pull a chart here and just take a look. It's seen a spike in price in 2021 around the Strixhaven block. And it's like not that popular of a card. It's got cool art because it's cartoony and it's Nomi and it's Dan Fraser and I really like it. It's from Arabian Nights, so it's super collectible. It is 5 mana and it's 5 to activate it. Tap it. Exile Ring of Maruf. I'll before I even get started, this is like the original consult the sideboard card, folks. It's like this is probably the ring Karn is wearing when you get to go to your sideboard and consult for a card and bring it into the game. But for the Ring of Maruf, you pay 5, tap and sacrifice it, exile it. The next time you would draw a card this turn, instead choose a card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand. Hello. Oh, look, thanks. You found my hat. Thanks, Michael Superbacker. So this card is like a commander card, I guess. You got to use mana rocks or something to ramp this out onto the field and get to activate it. And let me see here. Yeah, you exile it. So you can only do it once. And I don't know what formats, like a commander doesn't really have a sideboard, does it? Can you leave me a comment? Is this useless? Some people say you get a sideboard in commander, but Brody's not too sure about that. All right, let's keep going down the movers and shakers list. Thanks for joining me up until the end of the hour. This is your host Brody at Alfonso Investments, doing some MTG stocks here in the morning. My Hey Jin. Now, these Dijins, like, I gotta be honest with you, folks. I used to call this the Majay Dijin. I didn't know any better because I never played a lot of Magic card players that knew how to say the name. I think it's called My Hey Jin. So it's another Arabian Nights card. It's 82.76. It's up 19%, and that's about $13. It's made its way onto the movers and shakers list today, Tuesday, November 8th. And thank you to the subscribers, those people joining on the chat. Thanks for tuning in for stocks. Okay, I like this card. Collectible card, not really super playable card. However, it's I think it's an anti card. Let's just take a quick peek here. Yeah, when it attacks, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, remove Mahe from combat and tap it. It's 6/3 for 3 red. Same casting cost as Ball Lightning. Susan Van Camp. I guess, I mean, I don't know how you make this work. Anybody got a comment how to make a 6/3 work really well? It's too early for Brody to. It's too early for Brody to give you any tech on a 6/3. What do you got to do to cast this? I mean, I'd rather have a ball lightning. You know it's going to get in. I wouldn't want to hit this with a bloodlust or a berserk because, you're going to have to play that coin flip. Here's a card that I think is better for Michael Superbacker. Like, I don't know, give me a comment. Ball Lightning, that's a card. It's 3 mana. It's a 6/1. It's got trample and haste, but then you gotta sacrifice it at the beginning of the end step. I mean, I like this, but it's not on the movers and shakers list. Mahe Dejin is. So why? It's $82. Arabian Nights set, maybe set collectors. It's hard to say, but this card's maybe one sold. There's plenty of stock on this card. It's not like it's hard to get. You can get it for even $50 or less. A graded copy might cost you a little bit more. Seems so it could go up to $175 in a graded copy. Next card on the movers and shakers list this morning is the Rock of Courageous from Unlimited. The Unlimited Rock. I like the Rock of Courageous. I like the Moonvale Regent card even a little bit better, but this card was in the news recently. All right, and why? Well, it's on the reserve list, and the Rock of Courageous is a bird. It's a 3/3 flyer. It costs you 1 red and 3. It's in the air. This one's in white border. Now, why did it make it onto the reserve list? I don't know, but there was a lot of cards that made its way on there, and a 3/3 for 4 mana doesn't seem anything special enough to throw on the reserve list. Why did like Sarah Angel's way better, but let's not get into that. Let's take a look at the Moonvale Regent card. So the Moonvale Regent card is the same casting cost as the Rock of Courageous. It is. It's 1 red and 3, and it's a 4/4, so it's like way better. It's only $2. So the reason the Rock of Courageous was in the news lately was because it's on the reserve list, and then Wizards went ahead and printed the Moonville region, which is arguably much better, and it's cheap. It's a reprint, or it's in a newer set. So that drove a little bit of speculation as to like, well, if Wizards isn't going to reprint the reserve list, they're just going to make cards a lot better, which I don't know why if that drives people to cards like this, the unlimited version. This is an old school card. Like that's what I notice about it. It's an old school card. Where do you fill that single red flying creature spot in an old school 93, 94 in red? I guess you got Dragon Whelpy, but that's 2 red. Nope, it's a hard slot to fill. The one red and three mana, 3/3 rock. It's an old school. It's on the reserve list. It's flying. It was reprinted and revised, but that's about it. Seeing a tick up to $70 in price. There's two copies available. You can get a heavy played one over at the vendors list here for 16 bucks. Morning, folks. Everybody tuning in. It's November 8th. I'm gonna do some running through some MTG stocks this morning with Brody. Movers and shakers. Okay, Psionic Blast. That card is an unlimited card. I like this card. I got something to say about this card. Again, 68 bucks, up 21%. They made some cool versions of the Psionic Blast, especially some borderless versions. I think like the old Alpha Beta Unlimited are going to be the more expensive ones. Yeah, so AB is 800, Alpha is 850, and Beta is 183, and then the unlimited copy right behind that there is $68.66. But let's take a look. There was also, here's the borderless one, right? There's a promo, borderless Psionic Blast. But this is Blue Burn, right? Okay, it's Blue Burn. Psionic Blast wasn't reprinted and revised, so it's another card that didn't make the cut. Nobody's talking about that. Psionic Blast is Blue Burn that instantly deals 4 damage to any target, does 2 to you as well. That's pretty good. It's like a lava spike or better. In blue, an old school burn card in blue deals with pesky creatures, deals with a Seraph Angel, deals with anything for power or less, or finishes off an opponent. $68, why not? It's not on the reserve list, mind you. So, like, here's a card that hasn't seen a reprint, and yet it's not on the reserve list, and it could get reprinted at any time. I think it wouldn't damage the collectability, but look at this art by Douglas Schuler. Pretty amazing art. Well, thanks for joining us up until the hour. We're going to run down a couple more cards and then flip over to the vintage side and see if there's anything other than anti cards over there. Volcanic Island. Yeah, this was right at the top of the pile of the movers and shakers list yesterday. Its price price is up just a touch, just a percent today, which is 10 bucks and $740. One of the blue dual lands, the OG ABU duals. The blue ones are always more money. This is the second printing of this card. Silly enough, it wasn't printed in the first edition of Magic the Gathering Alpha. It was only printed in beta and unlimited. So this is sort of like the beta version of Volcanic Island, if you didn't know. Even though, oh no, this is the revised. So this is like the third printing of it. No, second. Yeah, third printing. Yeah. So they're a little more rare than people give them credit for, but that is you can pick up a what's the unlimited version here? Yeah, I don't even want to look at the unlimited. 1,700 bucks for the unlimited version. There's a 30. Let's take a look at the 30th anniversary version. Same art. It's got the tab symbol and blue and red. That's pretty great. Like it. What do we got next up on the movers and shit? The veteran bodyguard. Okay, so like the guardian beast is a guardian for artifacts. The veteran bodyguard is a white card, and it's from around the same time period, maybe just a little earlier. It's on the reserve list. It is on the reserve list. Okay, it's George Clooney with a sword, and he's got a neck brace on. This 2/5, I guess it's an old school card. It really is. It says human creature 2/5 for 2 white and 3. As long as it's untapped, all damage that would be dealt to you by an unblocked creature is dealt to veteran bodyguard instead. By unblocked creatures. So he can take all the damage from unblocked creatures. He really can. If you can enchant it so that it doesn't take any damage, if you can give him some form of protection, put a sword on him. Like, I mean, I think the veteran bodyguard is undervalued. $60 for the unlimited version. I don't know. I'd probably hit up the revised copy if you want to play it. Yes, revised. There it is, $3.75 if you want to play the revised copy in old school, new players. But I mean, think about it. For $3.25, pick up a copy. You know this is long-term card that's going to be playable either in Commander or old school. It's eternal in format. So the Veteran Bodyguard is $60.47 for the unlimited. Where are we playing it? Anybody? No, no decks right now playing it. Nobody, no decks found. It has Brody. No one wants to play this card. You're crazy. All right, that's fine. Uh, let's go to the vintage list if we dare. Chaos Orb. Yeah, we see this card all the time at the top of the pile. It goes anywhere from 5,000 to $1,000. The Chaos Orb is up $500 today, or 41%, and unlimited for the reserve list artifact that costs 2 mana. If you're any good at this, you have to do it in a special way. You hold it about a foot off the table, flip it at least 360 degrees, and you drop it onto the battlefield from at least 1 foot. If it turns over completely during the flip, destroy any tokens, non-token permanents it touches, then destroy the Chaos Orb. Anybody new to Magic, there is an opportunity where you can actually react to this if the opponent tap and sacrifices the orb, or no, activates the orb. You can destroy it before they get to flip it. Who knew? I think it's been errated to say that you got to name targets for it, but it's still a pretty cool card in old school too. It's $1,800. Excuse me here. I gotta have a little sip of coffee. This, let's see here. Mark Teeden also likes some epic art. That's like That's like some epic art right there. Hello. Anybody? Yeah. I don't know if my mic's working. Wow. That's the thing. Dropping the card. Interesting. I thought you were joking for a second. No, okay. I'm just wondering if my audio is working all right, Michael. My little green line stopped working. So yeah, like this is the one card and there's a couple of cards in Magic that let you flip the card. This one here, uh yeah, you gotta flip it on the battlefield. And there's another one if you're if you like that. If you don't want to pay $1,800 to flip a card, you can use the Falling Star. This one's from Legends. It's $144, but this one's also a flip card. Flip Falling Star onto the playing area from a height from at least 1 foot. Falling Star does 3 damage to each creature it taps. All creatures dealt damage by Falling Star. If Falling Star doesn't turn completely over at least once during the flip, it has no effect. So this is the other flippy card in Magic. It's kind of a funny thing. They did make a couple of them, but I think they just sort of went away from it. And audio's good, thanks, Coach. I lost my little green bars, so I don't know how my levels are at. I was a little quiet yesterday. Morning, everybody. Morning, Coach. Thanks for watching up until the end of the hour. It's November 8th. This is Brody. We're talking a little MTG stocks here. We got Michael Superbacker in the house. Coach, thanks for having my back, checking the audio. I appreciate you and everybody else in the Magic the Gathering world for tuning in. Let's roll down the reserve list side of the movers and shakers list here this morning. Tempest of Freet. Oh, another Legends card. It's like $28. It's kind of a cool card, except it's a collectible. You can't really play it. A 3/3, you remove it from your deck if not playing for ante. You tap sacrifice it, and your opponent may pay 10 life. If that player doesn't, they reveal a card at random from their hand. Huh? Exchange ownership of the revealed card in Tempest of Freet. Put the revealed card into your hand and Tempest of Freet from anywhere into that player's graveyard. This exchange in ownership is permanent. It's got really interesting art on the Efreet. It's $28. Doesn't seem to be a very volatile card. Maybe back in the Return Gills of Ragnak. It did see some move up and around Ultimate Masters, but you can get this card for about 15 bucks. It's pretty collectible. Maybe you're set collector playing Legends or anti-card collectors. You could probably get a really good copy because it's not going to be played very much. Yeah, a lot of excellent conditions, maybe near mint. So that Tempest of Freet seeing a little tick up in price. Contract from below. Yeah, these other anti cards. Like we're gonna see these every morning. These anti cards they keep coming up. This one was up here yesterday. Contract from below. The Douglas Schuler cartoony art. That's another card that this one collector's edition. 30 bucks for the collector's edition. So that's the one that's up today, hey? Contract from below. All right, collector excuse me, collector's edition. Bronze tablet, another card that's 1850. This card is another anti card. I mean, collectability, if not, why not? Enters the battlefield, non token permanent. This is another anti. They didn't want dexterity. Very cool. Interesting. Learn about different gameplay mechanics. They didn't want dexterity to be part of Magic the Gathering, right? Dexterity. No, we don't. Some of the unsets have a little bit of a dexterity aspect to them, run around, get as many high fives as you possibly can. But no, the flipping the card or knocking down the card or any of that, it soon left the game. I don't know if there was a card that made you tear a card up into little bitty pieces, but if there isn't, there should be. Rebirth. All right, here's a card from Legends, and then again, I guess in old school, this is an interesting card. It's seen a it's seen a dollar, nope, seen 14 cents or 1% increase. It's 16.99. Now this one's from Legends. It was reprinted in newer sets, but check this out. Each time you got to remove it from ante with not playing for ante. Each player may ante the top card of their library. If a player does, that player's life total becomes 20. So more ante cards on this side of the movers and shakers list. A green, 6 mana. Dark Pact, another anti card that you can cast off Dark Ritual. We saw these here. And the contract from below. Demonic Attorney. This is another great card. It's up a percent. Amulet of Quaz and Chaos Orb. More or less the same list that we saw yesterday. So on the Legacy or Eternal side, we got Island of Whack Whack, Guardian Beast, and the Land Equilibrium just moving around from where they were yesterday. So they've just kind of been floating around on the movers and shakers list. And then the rest here, with the exception of the Volcanic Island, which was first on the list yesterday, the Ringamaref, Mahe Dejin, Raka Courage's, Psionic Blast, and Veteran Bodyguard, kind of new to the list here this morning on Tuesday. And just a good point to keep in mind, like the collectability of this Sorceress Queen. It's the only version in black. So yeah, that's the hey Robert O'Brien. Hello, morning. Thanks for joining us for morning coffee and MTG stocks. I did finish my coffee, folks, so I'm gonna need to grab another cup. We're just finishing up here. I'll be on up just up until the end of the hour here this morning, November November 8th. Robert O'Brien. Morning, Robert. Yeah, I could stay on and run through this list for a little while. If you just got here, I'll uh, catch you up on the list, or maybe I just did. Uh, we're just going down the mover and shakers list. Nothing really to see on the vintage side. Once you've seen it, you've kind of seen it for good. These are mostly all the anti cards on here. Some of the same cards as we saw yesterday: the Chaos Orb, Tempest of Freet, Contract from Below, Bronze Tablet, Rebirth wasn't on there, I don't think, and Dark Pact. Demonic Attorney and the Amulet. These are pretty much rotating anti cards, but over here, like the Legacy side, is also where Eternal formats are. So let's just take a look at the actual MTG stocks here this morning and see what like the talk of the town is at. What are the weekly winners here? Okay, so what have they got listed? Prince of Thralls. Okay, these guys are writing about a couple of cards. They should have a new list out here this week, and I'll try and do some coverage on it. But this is another place to go. Prince of Thralls is hot as of last week. Whenever permanent opponent controls put into the graveyard, put that card into play under your control unless that opponent pays 3 life. Okay, it's up to 20 bucks. Boom. All right. Prince of Thralls from Shards of Alara. Hmm. Interesting card. Where are we playing this card? It seems pretty good. Friends with Gary and Kelowna, Robert O'Brien. You're friends with Garen Jotter. Very nice. Nice, nice. Very nice. Yes. Miss him dearly. Take good care of Garen Jotter. Vintage movers and shakers are very skewed. They're always almost the same. You bet they are. They are pretty much always the same. Good to have you here, buddy. Doing a little morning MTG stocks. Reckless Stormseeker. Okay, here's another card that's sort of what's this from? Midnight Hunt. So there's a card from Midnight Hunt that's actually worth a couple of bucks, $4. In fact, it says a red and two for a 2/3. What do we got here? At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets 1/0 and gains haste. Until end of turn, it is day bound. We got to flip it over. So if a player casts no spells, then it becomes night bound next turn. Storm Chase Slasher, the 3/4. Where is it, Wolf? At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets 2/0 and gains trample and haste until end of turn. It could give it itself, I guess. Why not? Why not give something else trample and haste? It's seeing a boost up in price, probably played in well, Where is the Wolf deck? And also the Hallowed Moonlight. Let's check it out. The Hallowed Moonlight. I gotta make this a little bit better to see here for you folks here on Tuesday, November 8th. Morning Magic Stocks with your friend Brody. Morning Robert O'Brien, coach, and Michael Superbacker got my back for Super Doo Duper. Thank you, buddy, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's check this out. Here's a card. Oh, let's bring it back here. Here's a card that's on the move. This one's seeing a tick up. Magic Origins. Oh, there's some really cool cards from Origin. Until end of turn, if if a creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead, draw a card. Ooh, creatures of darkness instinctively hide from the light. Cost you a white and one at instant speed. So this card, if it wasn't cast, excellent. So this is sideboard tech, or this is tech against Sneak and Show, or it's tech against anybody breaching creatures into the battlefield or flipping them or any way not casting them, putting them directly in play from your library or from your graveyard. Yeah, it's like against Living End, it's tech. So if anybody's trying to reanimate cards from their graveyard, yeah, I can see why this card is good. People want it. Who There's a lot of people doing shenanigans from everywhere else. People don't cast their big creatures, for 15 mana. They put them into play. So this card, Hallowed Moonlight, it says no. It does it once. It's not like an enchantment that sits there. It's good tech. Why not? It's on the movers and shakers list this morning. Good card. Sideboard for Cascade. There we go. Robert O'Brien. Thank you for the comment. That's the one that we didn't say because you said it. Because Robert, thank you for that. Cascade, right? That's totally where it's at. We're cascading creatures into. I would never cascade a creature into play. I wouldn't do it, right? Golly, rhinos. That's what we're talking about. Well, I appreciate you guys for joining me up until the end of the hour. It's morning MTG stocks with Brody. I'll run down the legacy side of the list, the fun side, the side I like to check, and the side I look at each and almost every day. Island of Wacky Whack. The Guardian Beast, again on sale. If you really can scrape some pennies together, now's the time to pick up a copy of the G Beast. Land Equilibrium, Land Destruction in blue goes with Mana Vortex if you ever wanted to play it. This is a pretty cool card. It's a balancing act that levels out the playing field. Sorceress Queen, the collectible version, because it's got a black border unlike any other version. It's a great card. It's from Arabian Nights and it's $151. That is a beautiful card. Ring of Ruff, a card that's the original sideboard go-getter tech. It's the card Karn must be wearing in order to consult that sideboard and get something. It allows you to go and get a card from outside the game, and it was the first way to do it, if I'm not mistaken. It's 5 mana. It's Arabian Nights again. It's up 11%, and it's a really cool, fun card. My Hey Dijin, the 6/3 that we would rather play Ball Lightning over. Uh, it's up a bit, but it's also from Arabian Nights. The Rock of Courageous, weekly busted, reserve list flyer for 1 red and 3. It's probably, I don't know, it's probably a decent choice in old school when you got like Storm Spirit and maybe like any other little, like an Azure Drake. I don't know. Psionic Blast, the blue burn card that wasn't reprinted after Unlimited, and the Volcanic Island, a really great blue dual land card. I'm probably gonna get go check out the rest of the live streams that are happening this morning. I hope you guys have a great Johan Matuzzi. We're just getting out, just signing off, buddy. But that's okay. You're headed to the mountains, going to lose service. Have a great day, Johan. Good to see you, buddy. We're just running through the vintage movers and shakers this morning. Thanks for joining me up to the hour. I'll have to catch you tomorrow, Johan. I'll be doing another live stream just then. Have older Magic cards been dropping in price a lot? I don't really know if like lately. Yeah, I guess not really. I haven't noticed. I've heard people saying like, "Oh, this is cheap. This is cheap. That's everything's on sale," but they're not. Like I mean, prices have been going up for like a long time, and I mean, sure, a card like the Guardian Beast. Let's take a look. This one, like the thing is like now somebody will want to get $700 or $800 for Guardian Beasts, whereas like it was a $400 or $500 card not 2 years ago, right? So I mean, when people are asking $1,600 and $1,500 for it, it's not that they're getting it. It's like they're sometimes getting it for like the really good ones. But I think now is like a restabilization period for certain cards. If you had your eye on it, there's possibility to pick them up now. I don't see like a price crash having have happened yet. I am interested to see how much farther down any of these cards can go. I would keep your eye on the movers and shakers list, or don't. Let me keep an eye on it for you. I can report back to you on morning magic stocks with Brody. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody.